Okay, here we go again. Let's do the shoulders. Mm. Ah. The ah. Mm. Do this one where we take a step, we turn the front hand out like a tiger's mouth over the back of the knee, so the hand's facing out. Drop the weight and just open up the shoulder in a different way. Ah. The other one. Take them out. Do a little step and swing this way. Ah. Ah. Step. Ah. Seeing off. Let's stretch the shoulders. Shall we? Let's go. Take it over as if you want to touch the base of your neck. Hold the elbow and then just stretch it. Front. Take it across this way. Fine. front. Awesome. And then just twisting the body. Take them into the ears. Punch. Hold the breath. Drop. Shake them out. And then swinging around the midline. Easing off. Bring the hands into the small of the back. Circle the hips. And there, support. And then arching backwards. And then easing forward, straighten the legs more. Let yourself go down, forward, stretch out the back. Easing up. Bring the legs together, bring the feet together. Roll around. Both ways. Stepping around a little bit, just freeing up the feet. So, onwards with the ball. Taking our basic stance. Ah. So maybe just a sort of a recap actually of different ways. Maybe we'll just do this first, a little talking around the different ways we've worked with the ball so far. So always we do some sort of preparation about stepping and grounding and lightening the body and adjusting the structure and so on. And then there's various ways in which we do the ball. One is more as like it's more contained and more related to our energy field. It's like an extension of the energy field of the body. And we experience it initially as discrete, as something which is somewhat separate from the body, which we can feel and we can move with it. And there are different ways, we had lots of different ways of moving with the ball. Sometimes we just do circling. Circling can be in the more torso-sized ball, or sometimes we might make it bigger, fully expanded ball. And different, all the different grades in between. So the ball can be worked with that way. Can also be worked with in different standing positions. So we were doing that sequence of 7, for example, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's that little sequence. But there are also other positions. So for example, we might come around here to face the chest, different position, more for the heart. And we can face in, but we can also face out. So when the ball turns out, it's a signifier that it's stronger. The energy field is stronger. So this we feel more contained here. We feel there's some force that we can exert from this position. So the hands turned out are stronger, generally stronger positions. Then we have various movements with the ball. So for example, we've been rolling both ways. Forward. These rolling movements are kind of generative, chi generating movements. So backwards and forwards, around. And then we also have this one where we go diagonally and we turn the ball side to side. It's a different way of working with the ball. What else have we done? I just wanted to kind of recap some of the many things we've done. There are some other ways we tried of working with the ball, like where we take it here and then take a step and extend the ball. I think we did this. So extend the ball forwards and retreat. Extend the ball forwards and retreat. So I think we've done that one. We've done lifting and sinking. We're just moving the ball up and down. And then there have been times when we've taken the ball and we can apply it as healing to the body. So we can take it through the head, we can take it through the torso, or we can take it all the way around. So like down one leg, up the other, through the body. So those are possibilities. We can hold front and back, hold the ball either side. So, or maybe as a knee problem, we hold around the knee, we hold around any part of the body where there's a problem, we can do that. So lots and lots of different ways of working with the ball. And these movements can be bigger and they can be smaller, and they can also be free form. So eventually the ball it can become quite a spontaneous thing where we're just relating to the ball, moving with it as it, just following really the ball. We have separated the ball into two, so 1, 2, have different, worked with one ball under each hand, another way of working with it. Or we've had the ball where we might have done something like this, like 2 balls. We've also, what else have we done? Yeah, we've done like a one-handed circling of the ball. Pretty sure we've done quite a few others, actually, but so all those are when we're kind of feeling the ball as its own thing, and we're relating to it as something that we're related to, but is movable in and out of the body, essentially. And then there's another phase where we take the ball and we relate the ball to the cosmos, essentially. So we're standing, and maybe it's just a meditation in standing, or maybe we go out, think of ourselves going out to the edges of the universe, expanded into space, and bringing the ball back. So when we start to work the ball like this, it's like a deeper level of the work, really, where we're connecting our field to the big cosmic field. And there's a interconnection and a feeding that's happening. And in those states, after a while, we feel like the ball and the body just don't feel separate. One merges into the other. The body is dissolved into the ball. And then these can become quite timeless states of practice. Anyway, I thought it was just worth a sort of whiz through reminder of all the various things we've done, and I'm absolutely sure that I've forgotten some. Maybe you'll remind me later on what I've forgotten. And just to clarify that thing of sometimes working with the ball as its own, being like a discrete thing, and then sometimes working with it in a way that the difference disappears. And one can lead to the other. So sometimes we work on generating the ball and getting the whole thing moving, getting the whole thing activated, and then we can drop more deeply into this opening. Or sometimes we don't do any of this working with the ball separately, we just go straight in, oof, straight into the big cosmic one, which you can also do. And the ball can be done sitting down. If you're struggling with any of the ball, do it in a chair. It's, what you're doing is that. What you've done is bent the knees, nothing much else has changed. So you can do most of it in a chair. You can't really do it lying down. You can have a go, but chances of you falling asleep are fairly high. So that was just a little overview. Now we can do some. Yeah, I was going to say one more thing, which is around our stance. So Most of the work we do with the ball in the Huagong is this kind of stance. It's shoulder width. That's a relatively narrow stance, really. The knees aren't hugely, they're bent, but they're not like deeply bent. So it's quite gentle. But we can do the ball in these expanded stances also. Double, looks a bit like treble, but double stance, horse riding stance. We can hold the ball in these positions. Much more challenging, but very good for us. And these are much more strengthening, more close to kind of martial training. Stay in this for a while, see, sustain it, and then see. So that's another possibility. We haven't really worked with that very much. Or even, boom, turn it out, even stronger in this position. So, but we're going to work still with the narrow stance. Knees released. One thing in being with the ball is not to become rigid in the stance. And inevitably we stand and then we start to tighten up. So we want to try and maintain a fluid state, which means we might not be entirely still. It may be there are little movements happening, maybe a little bit of swaying, or a bit like the way a tree might move in the breeze, like small movements of the tree. So don't feel you've got to be, or don't be rigid, but don't feel you've got to be absolutely still. So it's a softening stance, and everything about the ball is done softly, as little effort as possible. You just feel into the feet and how they're contacting the ground. And mostly we do this kind of routing where we go down through the body. We do the kind of tap routing. But as you'll know, not everything has a tap route, and often that's not the only route also. So there's the route down, which aligns us heaven and earth very well. And then there's also the more lateral outward routing where we're connected across the surface. So actually we use both of those. And that's like the feet. Our feet are plugging in, essentially. And the idea of focusing on the routing, whether we're mostly focused tap root style or lateral root style or combination of the two, which is what we probably would do most of the time. The idea is that we're plugging in and then energy is accessible. The energy of the earth is accessible. I suppose it's a bit like plugging an electric car in to charge up. And this is part of like adjusting our state. So normally, and once we come into Qigong and our sort of normal patterns are there, and these tend to be a bit heavy. We tend to feel we are a bit heavy, a little bit disorganized, chaotic. This is just normal. So plugging in this way is like quickly lightens up It quickly plugs us in and energizes us. So it's like tiredness, out, out. And the light animating chi comes in, gets active in the body. And then sometimes in this phase, before we even do the ball, in this phase of plugging into the earth, and some of you have talked about this, what can sometimes happen, if we just stay with this, is like we can begin to shake. It's like, well, it's more like we're shaken. The shaking that comes up through the ground starts to shake the body. So this can happen spontaneously, and often does. And if it does, it's not problematic. It's fine. You just let it happen. Or we can use it as a technique to help break through some of the holding in the body, really. So we could just do a little bit of that, just some bouncing. So this is not spontaneous bouncing. This is me initiating bouncing, a little bit different. Let the bouncing just go through the body, you shake it loose. Sometimes you move off the ground and tap the heels on the ground. Oh. So gradually the body gets loosened, and also the weight gets freed up and is able to fall away. So bouncing itself can be a qigong practice all of its own, actually, if you want to experiment with it. And you can allow it to express itself as fully as it wants to express itself. It may be that you end up really, really, might be, who knows where you might end up going, but it can be, you can let it come all the way through you till you feel like it's kind of spent itself. That would be a practice in itself. Can be a way of freeing up. Because in the end, if we bounce and bounce and bounce in the end, probably going to have to surrender. We can't hold on to those places forever. It's about 5 minutes, I think. So just settling, feeling the effect of the bouncing. Maybe a little bit of warmth, some circulation, maybe some ease in the body. As a result of the bouncing, the connection to the ground should get stronger. To stop sometimes when you get going. Yeah. That's really feet and knees, and then coming up here to the waist, to the hips. We just want to feel that we can wiggle the hips. They're free, completely free. And it's as if the pelvic structure hangs off the spine. Maybe just do that. Think you've got a tail. Have a think and you're giving your tail a bit of a wiggle. You almost have a tail. You have the sort of little remains of a tail at the end of your sacrum. So we want the sacrum to feel, the pelvis to feel free and not like it's locked into the spine. It's attached, of course, but not jammed in. And the sacrum, feeling the gravity of the earth, attracting it downwards. And as the sacrum is attracted slightly downwards, the little gap between the sacrum and the fifth lumbar can ease open a bit. This is a very important place, actually, where the sacrum meets the lumbar is an important place, and it's very common to have a lot of compression in there. And the consequence of it is tiredness, feeling like we're collapsing. And when we can free that up, usually more energy is available. So your tail free, your sacrum freed up a little bit from the lower lumbar, attracted downwards. Feel like the spine grows up. An image that's often used in Tai Chi and Qigong is the golden thread image. So you imagine a golden thread right from the middle of your head. And you're hanging by this. You're suspended from the sky by this golden thread. And the idea of the image is to connect us better to cosmos and better at the other end to Earth. But also it helps to align the head and the neck. So if our habit is to tilt or to go forwards, then the golden thread is quite a good image. Or you can think of the occiput and just lifting the occiput. Either will have the same result, really. Or even just thinking of drawing the chin back. Then underneath the armpit, we need to have space. And we think of softening in the armpit as if the armpit is like a tight fist that is just freeing up, opens. So from the heart and the chest through the armpit, the chi comes through and comes down this soft front part of the arm to the hand. So that freeing up there is important. And then we think from ear to shoulder. What our shoulders often want to do is to kind of climb up into the ears. So we try and think of the opposite movement. We try and think of the shoulders moving away from the ears. Fingers are separate. So plugged into the earth, a line through the center, plugged, connected into the sky. Structure open. So already we've put ourselves in a good place, and the chi is quite likely to be activated. Eventually take the ball. So the ball is like another level of organizing the chi. It provides a container, a little bit more than just standing. Slightly more open structure, and it has the quality of invitation. You take the ball and we're inviting the chi to gather in this space. As we tune into the ball, we can think of the outer skin being the back of the hands and back of the arms, and the back behind the shoulders. So at first we have the sense of like a material outside part that has some strength, slightly harder. But everything else, all the torso and all the soft part of the arms, if the skin of the ball is the outer part and the back, then everything's in it. And we just think of all of this part, all this yin part is just softening, softening. We maintain this container, this outer skin, everything in the skin becomes softer. Mm. The ball, the activity of the ball is melting the physical body, melting and softening, dissolving. Now you can gradually think of the ball expanding. The arms have floated out. Out into space. So you feel the whole body is permeated by space. Actually gather in again. Go out again. Just the back of the arms, hands, and the back has material form, like a paper skin. And in the expanded state, just think of all the front of the body is melted into the back. It's all dissolved into the back. Same again. Focusing on all the flesh, all the substance of the body being melted. Again. As if the body becomes two-dimensional, like a paper kite spread out. Front is melted into the back. Just aware of this one thin skin layer. Wrap that layer around the ball again, around the space. When we come back, just think of the chi melted through the body all the way to the back. And opening it at a lower level, more simply. Let the feet turn out a little bit. Again, as if all the front and the inside part, inside of legs, genitals, belly, chest, arms, all melted into the back. Mm. Bring it back. Time opening the gesture. You can also open. Think that the front and the inside tracks the chi, absorbs, attracts the chi. And the back part, outer part, just offers the container. Yeah. Mm. Let's wrap around again, the back of the arms curls around. Mm. So we try to have the sense that the back and outside part of our structure offers the container. And all the soft inside and front part is dissolved, melted by the chi. Mm. You can think of the ball like a kind of bathing and absorbing. We offer the open structure. Chi naturally is attracted. Ah. while, we can just feel free to take any position, however you naturally respond. Yeah, needing to be completely still. Just, just let the body respond, do what it needs to do in response. Just keep focusing on the dissolving of the body, the outer skin, offering the container, everything else dissolving. it takes you. In the next few minutes, and there's no rush. Think about finding your way back to bringing the ball in eventually into the body. But take time, just follow the natural course. Actually, gradually settling the chi back into the body, coming to the dantian. Slowly think about detaching. Do some rubbing. The feet from the ground, do some stepping. Adjusting as you feel. Clicking the fingers a few times. Okay, so I've left a little bit of time. I thought it might be quite good to check in, see how we're doing. I'll stop the recording there.